Our next presenter, Becky Senior. Where are you, Becky? Make yourself... No, there she is. No trigger warnings, I don't think. Oh. Right, so, again, big love, lots of enthusiasm, lots of support for Becky. Thank you.
I don't have any trigger warnings, but I do have a spoiler alert, but you'll find out what that is later, and pity you if you haven't seen the thing that I'm going to talk about anyway. So, yeah, I'm here to talk to you about something that I'm very passionate about that's going to happen in the future, and it is going to happen. There are 1,499 days to go. That's 4 years, 1 month, and 8 days until this event. And as a child of the 80s, I'd hope that many of you have been waiting for that day too. And it is going to be upon us, and we do need to be ready for that. That date is October the 21st, 2015. Now, Back to the Future 2, which this date comes from, made a lot of promises. Some of those promises have come true, some haven't, and I'm here to explain some of them tonight. So, video chat. Marty's in his living room. This is future Marty. If you haven't seen Back to the Future 2, you're just going to have to live with it, go home, watch it. So Marty is in his house. He gets a message from his boss on the video screen. To be fair, we do have that today. The thing that they got wrong in this scene is that he actually gets fired by fax. So they kind of got one thing right and one thing wrong. But, you know, we have the ubiquitous iPhone, we have Skype, we have all sorts of different means of connecting to each other visually now. We don't necessarily use it as much, but, you know, it's out there and we are using the technology. One thing that we do kind of have as well is biofuel. In Back to the Future 2, the DeLorean is powered by Mr. Fusion, which is the newest and latest thing in fuel technology and can transform regular trash into fuel. In the first movie, they needed 1.21 gigawatts, as we all know, to reach time travel. And if you can do that with trash, that's great. So nowadays we do have things. This car actually runs on chocolate, which I kind of like. But yeah, you can also have biodiesel and various things that we are using in electronic cars a lot more. Another thing that they had in Back to the Future is the Hydrator. So you put in a teeny weeny Pizza Hut pizza, and then when in a few seconds it comes out full-size steaming hot. Now, Black & Decker and Pizza Hut, I think, are under contractual obligation here. Instead, what do we have? Shitty, soggy chips. And pizzas that stay the same size. It's not good enough. I think they need to move on. They seriously really do. It's not good enough. I hope you're going to help me writing to these companies, by the way. Nike. Power laces. Now, in the future, Marty has to pretend to be his son, again, watch the movie, and he wears these rather snazzy pair of shoes. The laces, when you put your feet into the shoe, actually mold to the size of the wearer. Nike did issue this pair of shoes a few years ago as a reissue, you know, of the famous movie shoes. They glowed in the dark, and they did have 2015 written on the tongue, but they didn't have power laces. It's not good enough. So apparently Nike have patented it, though. This guy converted his Nikes to have power laces with a motor in the back. When you put your foot in, seals up. Check it out on YouTube. It's amazing. Give it a go. It looks really good. The next thing that's ubiquitous in sci-fi is flying cars. And of course, the DeLorean has a hover conversion in Back to the Future 2. So it's not a new thing in history, but in 2015, there's quite a lot of flying cars. So in 4 years, the car industry's really got to bam it up a notch. This is one that you can buy in the States. I think it's a prototype. I just love that it's at a gas station. For $279,000, it can be yours, and I'm sure it's coming to an episode of Top Gear near you soon. But flying cars are nothing new, really. Something that they didn't get right, self-dry jacket. I don't really want one myself. They don't look pretty cool, but, you know, if that happens, fair play. But it's not one of the better ones, it has to be said. And fashion-wise, I don't think they quite got 2015 ready. Or maybe they did. Another thing that's not going to happen, I don't think, especially with the obesity epidemic, is working out while you're eating in the Cafe 80s in 2015. Unless we're going to all start doing Zumba in McDonald's, I just don't think this one's going to take off anytime soon. Now, my favourite thing that I have been longing for since a child is a pink hoverboard. And if I don't get one for my 31st birthday, I will actually cry. So, Mattel, please, please, I'm imploring you now, tweet them. Please get on with it. The guy on the left here has actually made a hoverboard, and it does hover. You can't put anything on it, but it hovers through the power of electromagnetics. And we also have a single-person hovercraft there on the right, but it's not pink. So it's just not quite right. The last thing that we need to get right is time travel, because, you know, that's what we need to get to Back to the Future, because then we can go back to the 50s, but have the internet, and that would be really good. So time travel is definitely something we need to work on. So if anyone's got a spare DeLorean, but if time travel does happen, this is how excited I will be, because I did go to Osaka to go on the Back to the Future ride, and I would recommend it to anyone, and my friends here can attest how excited I was that day to get that close to a DeLorean. But yes, this is the Institute of Future Technology, and I think that's where we need to head. Thank you.
Becky Senior, fantastic.